A federal appeals court has rejected a Sioux City woman's appeal of her conviction on dozens of counts of voter fraud. Kim Taylor, the wife of former Woodbury County Supervisor Jeremy Taylor, was convicted in November of 2023 on 52 counts of voter fraud. In her appeal to the 8th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, Taylor's attorney said there was insufficient evidence to convict her and also raised objections to the trial judge's jury instructions. The appeals court rejected both arguments. The ruling said, in part, quote, "Voter fraud is no myth. Kim Taylor does not think that what she did counts, but the jury instructions were accurate and the evidence was sufficient," end quote.